Hello, so this is my Friday forecast, and let's get right into looking at the euro and the US dollar. So what I was seeing right here, I'm seeing an ascending into a descending, signaling to me ranging price action. So at this point I wanted to see a nice impulse either to a downside or to the upside. So we did actually get the nice impulse. To me this was really nice momentum and a good push. So at this point I was looking either for a flag or some other sort of continuation entry. Then what we actually got is we broke the low and retraced. So this to me signaled that momentum is finished to the downside, and I was not looking for any short trades because we just broke the low and retraced. And then we pushed to the upside. So we actually did reverse to the upside, and after this candle I was looking to see if I can get in on a bullet reversal, so a break and a retest reversal, something like this. So we have a descending, then we push to the upside and retest the most recent high, which would be right here at this inside bar. Oh no, it would be right here at this candle. So yeah, I was looking for that. And but we didn't actually get any opportunity because the price went and broke the high. So there was no entry after this impulse, and then we broke the high and retraced with a large wick. So currently I'm not looking for anything because I know it's Friday and I know that the market is soon to be closing, so I'm only looking for very high probability trades, and to me this just signals a range because we broke the high and retraced with a large wick. So what I can expect is that we will get more of this ranging price action between the low and the high. Maybe we will get an ascending structure, and then I will look for push to a downside, look for a trade. Of course that would happen on a Monday, or maybe we get a large impulse from here, then I would look for a flag for a continuation pattern, or we get a push, pull back another push, look for a break and a retest. Same thing to a downside, I would like to see a nice clean descending, a large push, then look for a long trade, or we can get a large impulse, then look for a flag to enter on a short trade, or we can get a push, pull back another push, look for a short trade, so then this would signal to me a trend. Moving on to the euro and the Japanese yen. So there were actually some entries in these areas. So at this point I was seeing this range bound structure. I was seeing that we had a liquidity area right here. We broke into the liquidity area, retraced to the large wick and reversed to a downside. So at this point I was looking to get more of an impulse, so get some more momentum in order to look for a short trade. This to me was not enough yet to look for a short trade. Then we had one pausing candle, so it was counter trend, and then we continued down, but this still wasn't enough for me to look for a short trade. This still wasn't enough. I wanted to see more of a push because we were coming from range bound price action, so this could just reverse back into the range and continue with something like this. Then we got this candle, and at this point I had a pending short order at the break and retest level, so at the bullet level at this inside bar, but I never got tagged in. Instead price just continued to go to a downside, and we had this large impulse to a downside. There was also a opportunity right here, so let me take this back. So we got one pausing candle right here, then we got the continuation. At this point I also had a pending short order at the inside bar, so at this level, but I didn't get tagged in, so it missed me by just a few pips. And then we continued to the downside, and we then got this large wick and an aggressive retrace. So currently we did get just a V reversal. So what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a large push down, I'm seeing a large wick, and I'm seeing a V reversal to the upside. So what I can forecast is that we will get a range here, and then continue maybe in the direction of the second leg and then look for a long trade. So this is a common pattern. We got the V reversal, small range, then a continuation of the second leg of the V. Also, what can happen, we can just stay ranging, because we know that the V reversal often signals a larger range because it signals indecision in the market, and then I would stay out of any trades. So also we can get more of a push right here. Then I would look for a flag to the upside, because then this is volatility, but it's in our favor. So the second leg is much bigger than the first leg. That is also a possibility. Also, I would like to see a push, pull back another push, look for a break and a retest. Then that would signal a trend. We can get this ascending from here, so something like this. Then I would look for a large impulse to the downside and look for a trade. Also, we can get a large push to the downside. Then I would look for a flag also, and then this would signal a trend or a continuation of the trend, because we are seeing this large impulse. We're seeing a pullback and the continuation of the impulse. Also, what would be very high probability is if we get a nice big push, pullback, break, and then a retest of the most recent low. That would also be very high probability. We can get this descending, and if it's a clean descending, I would then look for an impulse to the upside, and I would look for this long trade. So that is it for the euro and the Japanese yen. Currently, I'm seeing this V reversal, and I'm sitting on my hands waiting for an opportunity, but I think that we will need to wait until Monday for an entry to form. So let's move on to the Aussie pairs. So here we have the Aussie and the US dollar. So right here I was in a trade. Let me just put it on. It was from this point, and it was about here, a little bit higher. So yeah, as I was speaking on the last forecast, I was in this trade from this point, and so right here we did break the high, so I managed to reduce my risk, and I placed the stop loss underneath the most recent low. We then got a continuation of the momentum. So at this point I was looking for a scale-in to enter on another long trade, but we actually got a complete V reversal to the downside. So we then had a trend change right here, so we broke the low and got momentum. So at this point I was looking to enter maybe on a reversal short trade, so maybe we got something like this. But what actually happened is that we just had two small pausing candles and continued to the downside. So at this point I was looking to enter maybe on a bullet short trade, because I was seeing a large momentum, I was seeing a really small pullback, and I was seeing a continuation of the momentum. So I wanted to see either a flag right here, or I wanted to see it retest the most recent so low. Right here, this inside bar would be my entry candle if we reached it, but we never reached it. Instead we just continued to the downside, got this absolutely huge wick, and then we just continued to range. So at this point I'm not really looking for a flag, because I'm seeing huge warning signs, I'm seeing a huge wick, and I'm seeing wicks to the downside. So to me, price just doesn't want to go to the downside. It is struggling, so it is creating a large amount of wicks. So what I am expecting is I am expecting a reversal, and then I will look for a flag to the long side. I definitely won't be taking a flag pattern, so I'd also won't be taking a bullet short trade, because to me this just signals major weakness and it is not really a clean trade. What can happen, we can just stay ranging between the low and the high. That is what I can expect, because once I see an absolutely huge wick and loads of wicks in the pullback, we can expect a larger range. I would like to see also a push to the upside, pullback, break and a retest. Then this would be a very high probability setup. Or I would like to see if we do get something like this, so if we get a nice ascending structure, then we break the low and look for a short trade. We can continue with this momentum, so get something like this and then a flag pattern. Let me do that again, so push and then a flag pattern. So then this would be a continuation of the trend, and this would be very high probability. So I would really like to see that, maybe on a Monday. And then we can also get a push, pullback, another push, look for a break and a retest. Or we can get the same thing even sooner, so push from here, then a retest, and entry point would be this most recent low. So then this would be also very high probability, since we are seeing a trend. We're seeing one impulse pullback, another impulse pullback, and then a third impulse. So yeah, that is it for the Aussie and the US dollar. Currently we are trending to a downside, but this pullback is just really dirty, and I don't want to be taking any trades after seeing this huge wick and these wicks to the downside. So I'm waiting for the break of the low or the high. So now for the final pair, for the Aussie and the Japanese yen. What I'm seeing, so I was seeing this ascending structure. It was an ascending structure, not really an ascending channel, because we were breaking the lows retracing, breaking the highs retracing, and ascending channel is much more cleaner because it's just breaking the highs and retracing. So this is not really a clean structure, but it was ascending, and we did get pushed to the downside, which we do expect when we see an ascending structure. So this impulse was really large. So at this point I was seeing this impulse, I was seeing the huge wick to the downside, so I wanted to see a range, something like this, and then I would enter on a flag pattern. But what we actually got, so we broke the low and retraced. So to me this is signaling an end to this trend, because we know when we get a large impulse and then a descending, this usually signals to us the end of the move, and that the market makers are ready to push the price to the upside, or actually reverse the price depending on where we are going. So yeah, we broke the low, retraced, and then just continue to range around. So this is what we can expect, and currently I can expect for the price to give us more of this range, because it is Friday, liquidity is going down. That is a possibility. We can get this push to the upside. I would then look for a flag. We can also get a push, pull back, another push, look for a break and a retest. Or what can happen, we can get an ascending. If it's a clean ascending, I would look for an impulse to the downside, look for a trade. We can get a push to the downside, then look for a flag pattern. And this would actually be good, because we are seeing a continuation of this momentum. So then this would be just a small pause. I would definitely be looking to enter on a flag pattern if we do get a large impulse to the downside. Or we can get a push and then get a break and a retest. So retest the most recent low, something like this. This would also be very high probability, since we are seeing this large impulse prior. Or the best possibility for me, if we push to downside, get a small pullback and then push again, and then break and retest of the most recent low, so a bullet trade. Very simple. What also can happen, we can get a descending from here, signaling to us that the market makers are just taking out people's stops, and that they are maybe ready to push the price to the upside. Then I will look for a long trade if we do get this nice impulse, giving us a confirmation. So yeah, that's it for the Aussie and the Japanese yen. I was seeing this large impulse out of an ascending structure, and it was really clean, but it ended with a break and retrace of the most recent low. So this move ended, and currently I'm waiting for the break of the low or the high. So yeah, that's it for the forecast, and I will see you in the Monday forecast.